Alright. Hope everybody's having a good day. I'm coming on here to discuss something. I try to avoid the vet as much as I can just because I've been aware of how much it cost after I had my golden retriever went through cancer for 3 years. And I think I spent a total of, I had to been around the 5,000 mark for all the surgeries, the chemo, the visits, and it just goes to show that we'll do anything for our animals, our pets, their family. I know, it's that we had a saying when I was going through a school that the pet industry is pretty much recession proof because a lot of families will go adjust their needs to match their pets. They want to make sure that their pets are taken good care of, just like the family. So just because we're in a recession doesn't mean that they're going to skimp on that. They're still going to get toys and all that. Now there are those folks out there. It's a different topic, but they can't afford it. They'll rehome their pets. Hopefully, if they can't properly take care of a pet, they'll have the mind to do that. But I'm old school, as you can see. And I went into the vet. This is the story. Ollie, Sunday, he started showing signs of some loose stool. So what I do when I see that in a dog is I adjust her diet. I'll fast them for a day and I'll evaluate. And it's the same thing with knocking weight off of dogs. It takes a long time. Our mindset is humans losing weight. We could lose weight fairly quickly if we have to. A lot of it's water weight, but an animal, a dog per se, it takes a long time to get them to lose weight. And so I think it took me, I can't remember, but I had a Chihuahua I had to cut weight, and I took the Chihuahua for a month and ended up knocking, I think, 5 to 7 pounds off this Chihuahua, and it took a long time, but he did a lot of fasting, and he was overfed and overloved, I guess you want to call it. So I fasted Ollie after I found out his stool was loose, and so that was a Sunday. Monday, he wasn't feeling too good. We went on a walk, and he usually does his potty, as most dogs will do. And I wish I had a picture I could show you. I don't think you want to see it anyway, but it looked like there was blood in his stool. And it was a straw. The turd looked like it was just a slimy thing that looked like it had a bunch of red in it, and it really concerned me because I had not seen anything like that. Usually it's bad when you see something like that. So I thought, well, I'll wait. I'll keep fasting him, and I'll wait until his next bowel movement, because obviously he might have got into something that I wasn't aware of. But he usually is like, I can see everything that guy does. I'm on him all the time, and that's why the out command is very important. Spit that out right away. But anyway, his next bowel movement, which was on a Wednesday, was white, like foam. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. It was a completely white foam, as if you just spit on the ground a lot, or I don't know. I can't explain it. So that was another sign. I was like, what is going on here? So I called the vet, and of course, it's on a Wednesday, and it's like everybody's booked, and can't get them in. So I went ahead and I made an appointment for a place that was farther away. They said they could get him in on Friday at 10:30. I was like, fine, I'll take it. I'll just keep an eye on him. He was really hurting on Thursday. Wednesday night, he went through this puking stage where he just was throwing up, and it was just, I was like, where is all this coming from? It was legit throw up. And so then I was like, I was really worried at this time. I was like, I don't know what's going on. He didn't seem like he was poisoned. But he just wasn't acting right. He's kind of lackadaisical, and usually he bugs me, and he's always wanting to play. But this time he just wanted to lay around. So I knew something was up. And so on Thursday, I just watched him, and he seemed like he was doing better. And then he had a bowel movement, and I noticed it was darker. I was like, okay, that's good. But then later on that day, he was he was actually his glands were being exercised. I'll just say that, and it smelled so bad, and it was a spray of water coming out of his butt, and it was clear like water, but it smelled really bad. I hadn't seen that before. Like, it was weird. You think something clear would not have a stench to it like that, and then. But then a few hours later, it started getting some color to it. Well, Friday rolls around, which is today. Well, I'm making this, I'm at 6 minutes. All right. So I take a ride down to the vet, and she looks at him, and she's feeling around his stomach and all that. And she says he's got something, I think it was called HGE. This is just, this doesn't have anything on it. But she said basically what happens is sometimes when a dog's diet is interrupted, and they get like stomach issues. I don't know if I have to do some more research on that, and then I'll make another video on it. But Ollie was doing much better at this point. I was like, okay, fine. So the vet automatically goes towards salmonella because he's on a homemade diet, a barf diet, bones and raw food. And he gets dehydrated food every once in a while. But I watch his diet real close. He eats twice a day. He might get a treat every day, which is a bone, like a rib bone or something like that. I don't really give him too much stuff from the store because I don't know where it's made. So my point is I'm pretty strict on what goes in his mouth. And so she starts leaning towards the vet, starts leaning towards testing for salmonella. And then we need a stool sample. Of course, he's been fasting, so we might not be able to get a stool sample. And then we're gonna X-ray, make sure he's not blocked up. We're gonna do this, and I'm like, can I get a cost on all this? Because this is sounding like it's getting expensive for what he has. And she's like, yeah, we'll get you an estimate. And she feels his stomach and listens to his heart, and everything's good. And she leaves. And then the vet tech comes back in later on, about 5 minutes later, with an estimate. And the estimate was $574.62 for, okay, the exam was $75, because I've never been to this vet before, so that's understandable. They're gonna get you for a new patient, that just like the regular doctors when you go to a regular doctor. And then the radiograph series, $200, and then the diarrhea PCR canine test, $212.03 to check for salmonella. And I said, can you bring the vet back in here? So the vet comes back in, and she's explaining it all to me about salmonella. And it's like, yeah, I understand all that. I get it. But instead of doing all these testing, why don't we just treat him as if he's got salmonella, or if he's got some kind of bacterial thing going on? She's like, well, we could do that. I was like, that's what we want to do. So lesson number one right there, if they come in and want to do a bunch of testing that he's probably going to get treated for anyway, then you might just want to go that route. Just go ahead and treat for it, because obviously it's something in his stomach. It's not salmonella, for one thing, because salmonella is like, he wasn't running a fever. Everything was normal except his bowel movements, and he was lethargic. And you can feel a dog's stomach, around their stomach. If you can feel, there'll be a knot in there if there's something clogging up his lower intestine. But they're like, it could be a stomach issue, but he'd been fasting, and then when I fed him that little dried food, the little freeze dried cake of food, it was he gobbled it up. So he was eating. Usually when a dog is like that, they're not going to eat. They're going to have the feeling of being full all the time. So, all right, that's one thing. Now, the second thing I want to pass on is he was put on a probiotic. For one thing, he's always on probiotics anyway. I just get the probiotics online, and I could put all this stuff. But probiotics, it's just like humans. You got good ones, you got bad ones. But so I kind of go in the middle of the road. And the probiotics I got that comes, it's just a little actually, it's like a little thing you can feed him, but I just crumble up and put it in his food. And Ollie might get a little bit of yogurt too as a treat, which is good. Not too much, just regular plain yogurt. So these things are called Propectellin tabs. They charged me for a 30 count, $22. You can go online and get 60 of those things for 30 bucks. So for extra $7, you can double. So they're making a killing. They're doubling the charge on something like that you can buy online. Now, me as a trainer, I'll, if I'm using collar devices or whatever, I'll tell the people, you go online and get a better deal. This is what you need. Go order it. Or when I used to have the big facility, I would carry like prong collars and e-collars. I'd have a whole inventory, and I would just say, here, you need this, and this is how much it costs, and I would mark it up, $10 or so. I wouldn't double the price. I would just mark it up for a little bit, to get delivery and stuff like that. So, I was making a little bit of money on it, but I wasn't doubling it. So then the other thing was, she said, I'm concerned about his raw diet. If it is salmonella, I'm going to send you home with a few cans of dog food, of Hill Science Diet, stomach. It was for like sensitive stomach or whatever. I said, fine. How much could that be? I'll go ahead, and I could use it because he's kind of a picky eater sometimes, and I can put his antibiotics in there, and he would just get it with his little bit of canned dog food. I'm totally against canned dog food, by the way. Look at the ingredients on it. It's all fat. It's not really good. But Science Diet, Hills is a pretty reputable brand, so I still don't like to feed canned dog food to dogs. It's just not good for them. So they charged me for 6 cans $31. You can get a 12-can dog food for 40 bucks online. So again, for an extra $9, you can double, whatever they're giving you. So they're doubling the cost of anything. So the reason I'm coming on here, this video is a little longer than usually. Have your phone there. When they bring that stuff, look at it. If you can get it online, tell them that. I'm going to go ahead and order this myself. The only drawback is you're not going to get it right away. You're going to have to wait 3 or 4 days to get it. If you can do that, then do that. Like probiotics and all that, yeah, you can wait a couple days. The antibiotics and things like that, you really don't have any choice in that. You got to get it from them, and they're going to charge you out the butt for that. But the things that you can order online are try and do that. If you got a pet store, you can compare their prices. I know like some of the big box pet stores, they triple their prices on some things, so you got to be careful there too. But this $574.62 bill, in the end, $162.59, which I still think is too much. My other vet that I use, she's just a small vet, but I'll drive 2.5 hours to get to her because she's good. She don't try and sell you a bunch of stuff or anything, and I can get it's pretty much at cost, really. She hasn't let any of the big box, like she hasn't let Mars come into her practice yet and, take over. She still operates as an old school vet, and that's the ones I like. So we're at 15 minutes. I just want to go ahead and make a quick video and just kind of bring awareness to everybody. If you go into the vet and you think that you can get it cheaper, there you go. Have a nice day.